Hi vinyl community, it's Mike here, and I'm back with another video, and this time I'll show you some of the new vinyl that I picked up in the last 4 to 6 weeks. There's not very much of it, but it's all absolutely brilliant stuff. So without further ado, let's get into the first one. And it's a French album, and it's a reissue. So it's by a short-lived French band called L'Empire des Sons. The Empire of Sounds, very grandly titled, and this is their self-titled debut album. I think they only made 2 albums altogether. So they were formed in 1984, and this album was released in 1986. So I read to you what it says on the blurb here about the band, because I think it describes them sort of quite well. It says. In 1986, L'Empire des Sons released an album that defied easy classification, blending elements of synth pop, folk, and experimental music into a singular sonic universe. Now, almost 40 years later, we have a chance to rediscover a band whose music was ahead of its time, weaving intricate textures, poetic lyrics, and a deep sense of musical curiosity. And I think that really sort of sums them up. So the band itself, you know, it seems the 2 mainstays of the band were Dominic Lentin, who was an established musician in France, apparently, sort of had been in a number of bands, a percussionist sort of mainly, and they were sort of greatly influenced by you know, the likes of Brian Eno, Soft Machine, Frank Zappa, and you can hear those influences in this record, which is, if I was to put it into one category, I would say it's more sort of synth pop than anything else. But you can feel sort of, you know, quite sort of, you know, proggy in parts. It's definitely sort of folky, quite experimental, and yeah, it's absolutely lovely. And the singer is somebody called Bippe Redon, and she was a first-time professional singer. She hadn't done anything before professionally until you know, she got together with Dominique and the others and released this album. And you know, her lyrics are very poetic. She's got an absolutely lovely voice. You know, very melodic, very sweet voice, and you know, really complements the music. And they use all sorts of instruments here. So, you know, as well as the synthesizers that you would expect, obviously, with a synth pop band and a musician influenced by Brian Eno, you've also got, you know, things like marimbas and xylophones. And everything sort of melds together, and it's quite sort of magical. I mean, I would recommend this album to just about anybody, and I particularly recommend this album to Brian, Embryonic Robot. I think this is right up your street. You know, it's very synth poppy, but it's also, you know, a bit special. And I think you should give it a listen and tell me what you think. So anyway, so that's the first one, and the second one again. You know, we're in sort of synth pop sort of territory, I suppose, with a fantastic Welsh singer-songwriter, somebody who I've loved for absolutely years, and that's the brilliant Cate LeBon. And this is her album, as you can see. It's called Michelangelo Dying, and it was released a couple of weeks ago. And it's synth poppy, it's art poppy, and it's got a track that's a collaboration with John Cale on here. So the second to last track on side 2 is called Ride, and it features John Cale. So John shares the vocals with Cate on that track, and it's quite a sort of uplifting album, really. And the artwork apparently is based on an art installation, and the art installation is by an artist who I think was from New York called Colette Lumiere, and and the installation itself was called Recently Discovered Ruins of Dream. And it features a woman who's sort of lounging in a room, and the walls are all sort of decorated, and the walls are decorated in a style that very sort of reminiscent of the artist Gustav Klimt. Um, it's it's probably best if you go online and find a picture of that installation rather than me trying to explain it, because yeah, it's quite complex. But this is a lovely album. So the the, the music itself it's very light. You know, it's quite sort of uplifting, and you know the first track on here is called Jerome. It's really lovely. The track Ride with John Cale is absolutely brilliant, I think. Heaven is No Feeling. That's a lovely track. About Time, and the rather enigmatically titled Is It Worth It? Brackets Happy Birthday question mark. So yeah, this is this is really nice. And again, this is another one that I think you might like, Ryan. If you don't know Cate LeBon, you know you're in for a treat if you care to discover her music. So I'll show you the inner there. There you go. The words on one side, and then the lyrics on the other. But Cate LeBon is always good value. Her previous album called Pompeii, I think, was an absolute masterpiece. So if you like this, you can absolutely love Pompeii. Pompeii was released, I think, in 2022, and it's a fantastic album. So there you go. So that's the second one. Right, the third one, another artist from Wales, but this time we've got some American primitive guitar straight out of Wales, and it's a wonderful Gwenifer Raymond, and so her style, as I say, it's American primitive. So if you know John Fahey, who's I suppose a godfather of this sort of style of music, this kind of country bluesy fingerpicking guitar style, and she is a wonderful guitarist. She is so proficient, and it's absolutely wonderful. And she manages to sort of infuse a sort of punky gothic style into the music. Even though it's all sort of instrumental, you get this sort of it feels quite dark in places, and you feel yourself sort of like you be transported into the backwoods in the Appalachians, or down in the bayous in the south. And I should tell you what the album's called. It's called Last Night I Heard the Dog Star Bark, and yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. And you've got tracks on here: Banjo Players of Aleph One, Jack Parsons Blues, Champion Ivy, Bliss Afon Taff, which is a tribute to the mighty Taff River in Wales, and then a track called Bonfire of the Billionaires, which quite appeals to me. Yeah, Bleak Night in Rabbit's Wood. One day you'll lie here, but everything will have changed. So yeah, as I say, it's really good, and the artwork on the cover is by someone called Cate Raymond. And I've got no idea. I couldn't find out whether Cate Raymond and Gwenifer Raymond were related or not. So they may be, maybe not. But I know Cate Raymond's art because he does the cover art nowadays for my favourite post-punk band, which, of course, if you know me, you'll know it's Lovely Eggs. And Casey does brilliant psychedelic album covers and single covers for the Lovely Eggs, and he's done something similar here for Gwenifer. And this album comes with a if I can find it, yes, it comes with some stickers here for whatever reason, and then there's a 12 by 12 sort of print. That's quite nice. That it's signed on the back by Gwenifer. It's not by. This is not by Cate Raymond. This is by somebody called Steve Cracker. And if you like that sort of American, sort of bluesy country Americana sound, then Gwenifer Raymond is someone who's absolutely for you. So that's a third album. So now I think it's time to change tack entirely, and something else, another sort of music that I'm really into, and that's a bit of hardcore punk. And this isn't just any old hardcore punk. This is hardcore punk from the Faroe Islands. And if you don't know where the Faroe Islands are, but if you go north from the north of Scotland and you go up past the Shetland Islands, and then you turn west a bit, heading towards sort of Iceland, you might bump into the Faroe Islands. They're a self-governing dependency of, I think, Denmark. I'm pretty certain it's Denmark, but I know there are other people in the vinyl community that will put me right on that if it's not. But anyway, the band, it's Joe and the Shitboys, and this is called The Reason for Hardcore Vibes. And the tracks on here are short and sweet. It's a single album with 37 tracks on it. And Joe and the Shitboys, they cropped up at Jumbo Records doing a promo tour for this album. So they did a little set, and they're really, really interesting punk. So, apparently the Faroe Islands is quite sort of socially conservative, and Joe and the Shitboys definitely aren't social conservatives. So they kind of feel it's their duty to sort of hit back at the conservatives on various issues, and that's what they do. I mean, the best title for a track is a song recommending vegetarianism, and the song is called "If You Believe in Eating Meat, Why Don't You Start with Your Dog?" which I think is a fantastic title. So there you go, you meat eaters out there who've also got a dog. You know what you can do according to Joe and the Shitboys. There's another track on here called "Rock and Roll, We Stole That Shit." They're not averse to stealing a riff or two. So this is a really, really nice album. I'd come across them a few years ago, and I'd never actually sort of seen anything by them for sale. I think I could have gone online, and there's a record label in the Faroe Islands called Tootle, Tutl, that specialises in Faroese music. But I never actually bought anything, and this is a really good fun, short and sweet punk tunes, and it's really, really good. Right, another change of tack, and the final album I'm going to show you. This is a compilation, and I bought it when just on spec when I was down in London a couple of weeks ago. And I was in a specialist music shop called Honest John's. And Honest John's does a lot of jazz and, music from all over the world. Brilliant sort of selection of interesting folk music. And I got this compilation. And there you go. It's called The World is Shaking, Cubanismo, from the Congo, 1954 to 1955. And it's one of those sort of wonderful, joyous albums that, will get you dancing. It's really, really lovely. So the music itself, it's a music. It's almost like it's sort of, black music that was, transported across the Atlantic, via the slave trade, and developed over the years. This has been sort of exported back to the Congo, to Africa, and it's been, the Latin sound, the more sort of Latin sounds have been sort of adapted for, for an African, for a Congolese sort of audience. And they add stuff in here like very much sort of European and American influences. You know, they're influenced by people like Louis Armstrong, for instance. And as I say, it's just really sort of joyous sort of music. So this is the sort of dying days of imperialism, of empire in the Congo. Congo was part of the Belgian Empire, and I think they gained independence about 1960. So this is about 4 or 5 years before. Uh, and the music itself, it's been various tracks that have been culled from various 78s and but together in this lovely sort of double album collection. I show you the inner there. So there's plenty of information here. Then you got information about the artist, and then there's a sort of there you go, a picture of the 78 on here from his master's voice, and the music Africa. And yeah, it's a lovely album, and the artist on here, I didn't really know any. Well, I didn't know any of these people, and but there's John and Pia, a track called Clem, which I think is really good. There's a couple of tracks from somebody called Adequa Depala, Lauren Lamont, which is the opening track on side one, and it's called Maboka Marie, which again it's a really stonking start to the album. But all round, it's music to dance to. It's very sort of African, and it's lovely. So if you like that sort of thing, this is the thing. The world is shaking. Cubanismo from the Congo, 1954 to 1955. And that's it. That's just about all I've got to show you at the moment. I hope you liked it, and go out and listen to some of those artists if you haven't done so before. And let me know what you think. So until next time, I'll see you. Bye-bye. Bye.